There we go. Yeah, no, I was changing the title to my next free giveaway on Patreon. Yeah, I went back in and changed the title while I was live. But you see me over here picking my nose and shit. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till a couple more people come in. See, this is the next thing I'm gonna give away. I'm not gonna be on too long either, just a little while. But I'm working on this boat egg character here. So you know what it is? I started picking up the outline. I figured, yeah, let me video it while I'm doing it. You know, this is gonna be my next giveaway. Like next week, I give it away on my Patreon. Like I don't know if you guys were there, but I told people, yeah, I drew just about everything you could think of. And someone said, well, wait a minute, what about Baudet, like Cheech Wizard Baudet? You would think obviously RD had to have. I never fucking did a Baudet before in my life. So I said, oh, shit, you got me there. I forget who it was. I think it was in my lives. I mean, I save all my lives. I just don't post them all. But yeah, they said that. And I figured, let me do a Baudet character. I'm not done with it yet, but just a regular old line, you know, run of the mill. I wasn't big on them. You know why? Everyone was doing them, you know. I wasn't big on the Baudet character. I mean, it was also a little before my time when they were really, I mean, they were popping off. People would draw them in school and stuff like that. But I mean, you know, most of them dandy cars and shit were like when I was real young, you know, stuff like that. What do we got? What's up? Hey, how's it going, buddy? And what's good idea? Yeah, not much. Chilling. Like I said, sitting here, I fed my frogs and everything. And I'm looking at that outline that I was drawing. And I said, yeah, let me finish it. I said, I might as well go live, sit here and draw with it and answer some questions. Because this is the next thing, you know, I'm going to give this away probably in the middle of next week on my Patreon. I just give it away for free on there just for to show my appreciation to people on my Patreon account. And I mail it out free of charge. All I got to do is simply be the first person to comment that, yo, I'll take it, or however they want to word it. You know, some people might feel funny saying, you know, can I have it or something? You know, so however they word it, and it's obvious that they're interested in it, then I just mail it out to them. They message me their address, and free of charge, on my dime. I mail it out. And I give it to you for free. That's for my people that support me, you know, the Patreon. We're a tough crew, you know. Yeah. But yeah, what do you think? I think we got one more week. Well, we got like 10 days left of this month. And I'm just going to be straight up Patreon. So, yeah, Patreon. Yeah, I said that shit too much, right? People are like, yo, this dude is fucking a little too hungry, right? So I don't know. Ask me something, man. What do we got here? What's good on you? Jace the Super Squad original. Oh shit! Yeah, I remember old school shit. How do I get on Patreon? Love podcast, bro. Yeah, the link is in the description below. You know, PK said the same thing, and he was actually here, and he went in to do the link in the description below. He's like, yo, wait a minute, man. Like it says his name or something. He's like, I don't want to get down like that, man. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you then, but yeah. Some people, their things are linked to their actual names, and I don't know. I think you could come up with another name when you actually go on there, and it can remain anonymous or something. But that was PK's concern. And to be truthful with you, a lot of people, like Lace, even before he disappeared, I'd be like, oh, yeah. He'd be like, I want to get a haircut, this, that. And, he's pretty much like, well, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to interview me about? Hey, like what the fuck? I was like, graffiti, dude. He's like, why you want to talk about that? I'm dead serious. Like, he don't go on computers and shit like that. His girlfriend was fucking around the computers for a little while, putting pictures of his stuff on and stuff. But yeah, he's like, why would I want to do that? And I'm like, talk about graffiti and shit. He's like, it's fucking hilarious. But a lot of my friends are like that. They're like, I don't know, man. That don't sound too good, man. I'll get back to you on that one, Rob. Yeah, true story. Yeah, what do we got here? Yo, do you ever eat at the diner? There he is, Joe S. What up, dog? That guy, he fucks with me. But he's a good dude, man. He don't go overboard. All right, Sticker Bomber Zor from Queens. What about that, dude? I knew a Zor. TFV Zor, actually. I've done some stick-ups with him, actually. I think that, with Nash, right? Queensbridge Houses? Is that it? I thought he passed away. All right, salute. All right. Brian, I'll take no matter what you do with it, just sign it. It's actually already signed, and it's not on here. It's on my Patreon account, man. I ain't giving shit away like that. Now you gotta become a member, man. You gotta come out of the pocket, man. Fuck yeah, my money don't jiggle, it folds. Salute RD channel. All right, that's some JVs. All right. All right, what else we got going on? All right, let me get back to drawing, man. Yo, what do you guys think about that shit with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg? Man, they're gonna fight. Yeah, I was just watching that shit. That's gonna be funny, man. And you think about it, it's brilliant. And I think Dana White's even already behind it. Like, it's definitely gonna go down. And Elon Musk is like, yo, I'll fuck that dude up, man. But then Mark Zuckerberg's like, yo, I'm into jujitsu. And there's actually been footage of him, like, actually doing matches for belts and stuff like that. There's crowds of people around. So Zuckerberg's probably more in it, on a daily basis. Just the familiarity of just wrestling and flipping and putting people on the ground is more probably, I would assume so, than Elon Musk. But then, according to what I heard, Elon Musk said, man, I beat that dude's ass. He's like, I'm from Africa, man. Fuck that. I'll set it off. He's like, just because I don't go posting pictures of me fighting this shit don't mean nothing. But I just look at it in a sense of having time to train. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a good money grab, man. I mean, I believe they're gonna donate all the money to charity, but that'd be something, man. Yeah, that's cool, man. It's smart. It's smart, like for charity and shit. I should do something like that on my Patreon, right? Yeah, I'll get Coke too. I'll fight Coke too. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll strip down into G-strings. We'll both wear G-strings, me and him. We'll have a little pool. We'll fill it up with jelly. We'll go. Yeah, put that together. Me and Coke too. Yeah, that'll be the shit. But we gotta wear G-strings. They're like a big puddle, like a jelly. Baby oil. Baby oil. Oh shit! Yeah, me and Coke too. Yeah, classic. You see that? That's how inventions are born, man. That'd be funny, right? Yo, imagine that shit, like me and Coke too fighting in our G-strings. No, that people would pay to see that shit. Come on, that would be a classic. Oh shit. Are they gonna box or is it? I think Dana White's involved. It'll probably be MMA and Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, I've seen footage of him in the past, like not even just now, of him actually like sparring and shit like that. And it looked like belt contests where he actually was fighting people in belts and stuff like that. There was auditoriums type settings and stuff. But I mean, then again, the opponent knows it's Mark Zuckerberg. He's like, I don't want to go hurting the guy, you know. I play myself right. This guy might buy me a nice Mercedes or something, you know. So, you know, as far as it goes with like his opponents and stuff, but it just, I mean, even with running or something, they say walking is better than, you know, like this. If someone's starting out, and I always say that. A lot of people ask me, you know, they say, "Well, Rob, you know," and I was like, "Well, just think of it this way: just get up and walk." Just walk 10 blocks or start out walking a block, walk around your block, and then walk 2 blocks, 3 blocks, then start power walking, walk faster, start moving your arms more, you know, and then just start trotting and then just start jogging. And yeah, but it's any of that is more than sitting on the couch, you know what I'm saying, or just sitting in front of a computer. I mean, I live an extremely active life. I am always jumping around doing something, so I never really have to worry about my weight. If anything, I shred down and lose weight. I don't eat properly and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting. It's just being more exposed to it. Like someone that even walks to work is probably going to be able to run away from someone better than someone that's actually just like, if there's a moment in New York City where someone was wielding a knife and they're coming after you, you'll probably have a better chance of getting away and outrunning the people that just sit on the couch all day fucking drinking alcohol and watching TV and eating ice cream and shit. You'll probably at least be able to pass them, and then they'll get chopped up. Like a zombie apocalypse, yeah, you'll hang in there. You know, it really does get like that, you know. So I would just assume just even like muscle memory and shit like that. I think when Mark Zuckerberg would probably have an extreme advantage, although like size and weight is a different thing. I don't know. Every time I look at Mark Zuckerberg, I can't get out of my mind. It's like Stewie, right, from Family Guy. All right, so Brian, I've been writing Zor since 1987. I bond with Kano and Mears from 5 Points, taught me how to write and read graph. Yeah, so you're probably a different Zor, right? I remember a Zor used to hang out with roaches. I think he was Indian also. He was from like Queensbridge projects or houses or something. I met him through Nash, OA, but then I would bump into him on my own on occasions, and sometimes with John JJ, when I'd be hitting a story or layup, you know, in the mornings. I'd get there about 11:30 in the morning, and I would hit the trains, and they would park them there early in the morning. We would jump around there and hit them trains. But so you're probably a different Zor, right? I mean, it's a pretty popular tag, Zor. Yeah, I've seen Zors come and go. I mean, even if you look in these old books in the 70s and shit, there's a Zor, you know. What do you guys think is the most picked tag? That's something, right? Like some tags, just everyone picks them, like every single state and city or something. I mean, I'm just New York, but yeah, like Risk is a popular one, obviously. I've seen a lot of Risks come and go. Like I've explained, Eddie Risk from the one train, like FBA and all that shit, that was the Risk. FC, yeah. Even Sen, you have like Sen 1, you have Sen, you have Sen 4, you have Sen 2 with Tats Crew, a lot of Sens. Chino too, right? You have Chino 2, Chino 3, Chino BYI, right? Chino Julio 1 3 or something like that from the west side. Yeah, Chinomala. Yeah, RD even. There was a lot of, not a lot, but there was an RD in the Bad Racket, TBR. I remember I saw that up on a truck around when I was starting out writing RD. Then you had like RD2, TLA, the Latin artist, I believe, from the D's. Then you had RD Ray Dogs, I think from Harlem. He was writing when I was married and not writing graffiti too much for like 3 or 4 years. That's why I took a break, and that's when that dude hopped in. But all the other guys, well, including him, I guess, because he stopped. Yeah, but I blew past all them dudes. I never actually went over any of them, but I just kept at it. So I believe, it's almost like Wolf, like the Wolf RIS, it does the freights and stuff, compared to the original Wolf, like I was talking about before. You had Wolf Dual Wolf, right? And you have Dual that does the freights. What did I say? Wolf that does the freights? We also have a Wolf AOK. I don't know whatever happened to him. He was pretty good. I used to like Wolf stuff. I mean, I met him. I knew him as a human being. He was all right. Now, let's see what we got here. Hi, Brian. Actually forgot to mention Mears lived down the block from me 3/4 of my life. His life. Anthony Tabor. Maze. Yeah, Maze TAT, right? Yeah. And you had a few mazes, too. You had Maze TAT. Then you had a maze up in Harlem, too. They used to hang out with Cuba and them. I think for the Madison houses, there was a maze. I actually hung out with him once on Halloween. He does it almost like Mac, TATMAZ, and a lowercase e. Yeah. What's up, Tabor? How's it going, man? Hit Mr. A. There's a saying in the city, in every city, every generation. Yeah, even almost every borough. You think about it, wasn't it saying UA? Saying with like Scene and them, right? Like Scene, PJ, Duster, Mad, Sane. Pretty sure. But I remember saying Smith and saying I'd actually bumped into him. You could ask the one that's still alive. I bump into them on the sixes. They were actually doing outsides. They were doing like them blockbusters under the window. I believe it was the green one that they did with the clover green on the 6. I think, of the safety green with black. I was on the inside, writing on the insides of the trains, and I looked down. Like I heard some banging, like ding, ding, something like someone's over there. And I know I'm not used to ever really bumping into other writers too much up at the sixes. And, so I was like a little nervous thinking, shit, it's the cops. Because I'd get raided up there. Like Zariga, Middletown Road, all that shit, all up the sixes. And, man, yeah, I'd get raided probably out of 10 times, like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, like 4 or 5 times. The lights would go on and the shit would pop off. I'd literally have to run out of there. Like they always knew. But yeah, I looked off the sign. I said, oh, shit, it's other writers. So I came out of the ends between the cars, came down onto the tracks. I think I actually talked to them out the window a little bit. And then I came out onto the tracks. Said, yo, what's up, man? How's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And I went right back inside the train and just kept doing my shit. Just kept going. Yeah. Ask him, he'll tell you. All right. Yeah, you got saying there. For some reason, I remember saying out like TPA or something like that. Maybe I'm off. Yeah. Then you had Sane Top Crew, the Odd Partners, SAIN. Yeah, he's one of my favorite dudes too, man. Real quick, simple, them circle things. Yeah. As far as it goes on filling, he did a lot, man. A perfect example, like we were talking before, like when it comes to style and like people's histories and stuff like that. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Castle Rock RD, let's go bombing tonight. Nah, I don't do that stuff no more. All right, Rod Dog. He used to do the Little New York Post Dog. No, that with the paintbrush, I knew Billy Mayer used to do. Well, his brother Michael Mayer used to do the little ones. With they were like a little terrier. They were done like with house paint. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But yeah, there was a few RDs out there. One of them was up there on the D's too, off of 205th, like with Easy E, RD2, TLA, Let It. I bumped into him up there. Yeah. Then they had Trim, which also was like Trim KD, the same Trim. You know, not TNC, but Trim KD. Sane Top, Sane UA. Yeah. Anthony Tabor, Scene UA. See, yeah, I forgot it. All right. Scene UA, Scene TC5. Yeah. That was some weird shit, man. What about So? So, I swear, I'll tell you guys right now on here, I always thought that So TNS and So X-Men was all the same So. So imagine how much So was up in my mind, man. Yeah, true story. You know, I mean, I later on met So, you know, TNS and known them and everything. But yeah, that was weird. I always thought it was the same So. I never knew there was two So's. And then later on, Jesus Christ, that's just doing the training at that point. Even So's before that. But after that, when the trains fucking went down like 89, 90, everyone wanted that fucking mother. It was like 100 So's out there. Yeah, you had So, you had So, Little So, Big So, Uncle So, Fat So. It was all about the So's, man. That's a hot tag, I guess, SOE. All right. It's like, see, 3 So's. Yeah. Well, Sub X-Men, wasn't he big also? Didn't he write Mr. Big too? Big. One of them did. Yeah, no, it had to be him. I mean, Richie he from the Lower East Side, he wasn't big like Mr. Big. I remember the So X-Men also wrote like Big or something like that. It was pretty cool. I remember seeing a big when I was going to school one day. I was in a truancy program. It was on the double R's. And it was running on that line. It was a big. And I remember I was like, who the fuck did that? And Lace told me that's So X-Men does that also. I said, I never knew that. Yeah. And that's like around the time, yeah. One of the So's passed away. I didn't know that. I mean, So TNS, he was on the Graph Champs not too long ago. I've hung out with him a lot. I know him pretty well. So the TNS, So Richie. As a matter of fact, if you ever look at that piece that I did in the Hall of Fame, the one that's in the Prodigy album or the Prodigy, I don't know, Mobb Deep. Right? Something like that, the album cover. If you look at that, the CD, that piece that I did, I was with So TNS, Joey TDS, I think Spawn was there, and Pove. I think Pove came when I was done. But anyway, So TNS actually wrote that 357 Reasons. He's the one that started that whole 357 Reasons. And I was like 300, and I was like, what is that? Like that Jamaican thing, like 6 million ways to die, choose one. He's like, no, 357 reasons. He's like, that's an LL Cool J song. I said, I never knew that, man. I said, I don't listen to it. He's like, Mom, I'm gonna knock you out. This and that. He's like, LL Cool J, you know who he is? I said, yeah. And he told me 357 Reasons is a song that LL Cool J did. Still to this day, never heard the song. But yeah, and that's why he wrote that next to my piece. Yeah. I have video footage of me doing that. I also got pictures also on the building. I did a big, huge RD. I didn't fill it in, just a big bubble letter outline. And he did a little So next to it. Also, 106th. Yeah. I've hung out with So at TNS. I've been to his house. I've met his child. Yeah. I literally been in his house when he was living up in Harlem with DJing and stuff. He's got a little DJing equipment there. Yeah. I met his son and everything. Yeah. I don't think he passed away. I just saw him on Graph Champs a couple months ago, but I don't know. I'm going to ask Joey. All right, JB. JP, I am kind of surprised someone of your stature in New York City graph scene is not down to legal stuff at this point. Yeah, I don't do that shit. Like, to me, it's not. It's like painting my bedroom. Fucking like, it's not fun for me. I just have no want. Like, I really don't want to do it. I don't think that's graffiti. I think that will cheapen me. I have done it. As I've explained, I've done it with Saint TMR. Ask him. I mean, there's pictures out there. I could post pictures on here. That was legal. Turkey's Truck was legal. And Sweet Chicks out in Brooklyn. It's a waffle and chicken joint out in Brooklyn. My friend John Seymour, childhood friend. He asked me to do it. I said, yeah, sure, why not? John Seymour, the guy that owns that place, is from this neighborhood originally. Irish kid, yeah. So P2D. See, yeah, that's where it starts getting crazy, man. So P2D. They start like, yeah. That's like too far into the future. But yeah, so's that's a so I never heard of. Hell, wasn't SP and them running around with a so too? KR and them, yeah, wasn't there a so hopping around with them too? Did a weird fucking E or some shit. Yeah, it was like a so BYI, I believe, man. You know what's a cool tag? I'm surprised that not many people picked up on Shaker. That's a good one. Shaker. Like Shaker Jason from Uptown. Yeah. I always liked his tag. He had a couple of tags. He had Shaker. He also wrote Jade. He also wrote Sterling 179. Yeah, a few good tags. He did some nice stuff, nice pieces. Part. This is a couple of parts too. I remember, right? There's always a few parts. Can you guys hear me? Parts. Been one or two parts, but not during the train era. I believe there was a part that came out after the trains, like up around Kingsbridge area when I was living up there. I remember those kids started doing part. I think there's a so from up in the Bronx too, right? So, like off near the 2 and the 5 line. I think there's another so up there too. Yeah. There's only one Stay High, right? There's only one Tracy 168, right? And even Ghost, right? Did you ever see that shit? Yo, I was kind of like, oh, that's fucked up. There's like a whole thing. If you go on YouTube, you could go on YouTube. It's called Ghost EA. So I thought, wow, that's something, like Ghost from out in Queens. And so I'm looking, I'm like, hey, fucking Ghost, man. What is that crap? I mean, it's real technical, perfect example of what we're talking about. Oh, style and this and that. That sucks, man. Fucking the real Ghost out in Queens, man. RIS, man. I was looking at that shit. And EA is actually a writer, too, but they use EA as the crew. The guy literally had to have said, well, what am I going to write? And he must have went through a list of New York City writers and said, I'm going to write Ghost. Like, it's insane. That shit crazy shit. Yeah. Fucking, the newer generation. And it's time. That's what I'm saying. It's important. That's why I come on here, and I talk. I try and refresh people's memories, Yeah. Weird shit, man. Let's see that piece again. Yeah, I was fucking around with the Baudet character a little more. I think I got. That's the first time in my life I ever did a Baudet character. It's getting there, right? See, I'm just gonna keep it in pencil. I'm not gonna do it out of pencil. See, right now I'm working on. I'm just gonna do a couple of little bubbles behind it. Someone said, "Yo, I'll take it right now," but you can't take it on here. You gotta go on my Patreon, and it'll be in my description of this live video below. And yeah, so we'll just sign it. I've been signing it, man. Hey, let me try and see if I can get the whole thing on the screen right there. A little lower. Wait for it. Wait for it. Stung! You fucking idiots! You got stung! Y'all look at my dick. Like a fucking sausage fest up in here. Oh, you guys are killing me. You're too fucking easy. Loop-de-whoop. Oh, man. Oh, sheesh, I'll tell you, you guys crack me up, man. You're fucking beyond funny, man. Oh, shit. I call it stung. Oh, man, you're killing me. Where we at, man? Yo, Tommy, you saw that? I stung you too, bro. I poked you in the eye with my dick. Oh, that was a good one. All right, where we at, people? Calm down, calm down. You guys are funny, man. Man. Oh, man. Shit. Yeah, all right, let me get back to drawing, man. You guys talk, man. Y'all remember that stung? Oh, shit. Fuck your head up. Oh, man. I'm still laughing at that shit. Yeah, I'm fucking funny, man. I tell you, I crack myself up. I walk down the street sometimes and I think back to just being young and and people think I'm nuts, like, the way the city is now and shit. They think I'm crazy or something. They start moving back. They tighten up on their things and stuff. Yeah. Oh man, I had a fucking fun life, man. I don't give a fuck. You take a couple of lumps here and there. But yeah, nah, I had a piss on that. I wouldn't take any of it back, man. Actually, I wouldn't have picked up cigarettes. That might sound stupid, like I'm some kind of advocate against nicotine, but yeah, there's no enjoyment in that shit. And that's what really fucked my lungs up, man. And crack, all that shit was all on point, man. At least you're getting something out of it. Yeah. Like I was saying before, people hold this I said, I wouldn't mess with nothing nowadays. All that fentanyl out there and shit like that. I wouldn't touch anything. And even like mushrooms or any of that shit, man. Like they say, like a couple of grains of that shit, man. Yeah. Fucking kill you. Like I was explaining this girl, Gina, that I knew that passed away. Yeah. Hell, they could probably even lace the weed with the goddamn fentanyl. You smoke that shit. Yeah, I'd be reading about me back down. Or he was a dope fiend. It was smearing my good name, right? You motherfuckers. But yeah, we could see it in him in his interviews. Yeah. We knew he was on the verge of snapping. I remember punch buggies. Yeah, we used to play punch buggies. Who's that? Used to play with JB's. Was that JB's ASIC? Staten Island? Wu Tang, right? I remember punch buggies. Yeah, I remember that. We used to play that shit rough. We would get you in the balls. All right, A1s. Who had the most outside on trains? In general, I'd really say that shit, honestly, would be between Min RTW and Is the Wiz. If I'm going to be honest with you, yeah. Like you had people, like I was saying, Sane Top. He had a lot of lines too. Sane, TOP. He had a lot of shit. But nah, none of them compared to that. And there was also, you had In, which was Kill 3 from Manhattan, Upper West Side there. A little before my time, but I've seen some of those INs. So that wasn't as impactful on my life. DY, of course, Jester, DY. I've seen those. Yeah, he was up a lot too, DY. But in my opinion, and when I was acknowledging what was around me as far as it goes with graffiti, I would say Min or Is. I couldn't figure that out. However, I do believe Is actually stayed in the game longer. Like Min, I've talked to him. He did it for about 8 years, and it's just like he's like, there's nothing left for me to do no more. Like to keep the only thing I could do that would be shocking is to stop. Yeah, exact words. Ask him. And but Is the Wiz, hell, even in like 88, 89, I would be going down into fucking like he even had, yeah, he would still be out there. Like even Trike too, with those TO fillings, he kept going to the end also. TO, he was out there a long fucking time. But he didn't have that many different lines. He like we're talking about throughout a lot of different lines, almost all of them. Yeah, I would have to say Min and Is, because Is also had the 2s and 5s smashed. Hell, I didn't even remember seeing him on the 1s here and there. We have some fill-ins on him. He was probably just hitting big yards, like where they would have like every line, like the Ghost Yard or some shit like that. It's a far fetch. You know, considering I believe he was a Brooklynite, I don't know, out there in Queens or some shit like that. He lived in 2 different areas or whatever. I don't think it was an easy trike for him up there, but then again, he probably had a car or something. I'm just saying, to bring the amount of spray paint on the subway and sneak into a place, it all sounds easy with you guys nowadays thinking in the future here, 30, 40 something years later. Oh, how was that such a problem? What, paint, way more back then? No, it's just we really didn't have the convenience of automobiles like that. It's not everyone owned a car. I'm not saying he didn't. I know Quick owned a car, but imagine putting all that paint. I've done it. Went far away with like 2, like I don't even remember Jansport being around back then, but 2 bags, like Jansport fucking bags, filled with fucking paint. Taking that shit all the way out, like someone would mention, you ever been to like Grant and stuff like that? Yeah. Times I'd take so much paint out just to do fill-ins. That's why I really didn't like doing a bunch of fill-ins. I really didn't like it. I'd rather bring 20, 30 cans and just do a whole car. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that. Well, Ripe and then would run around and do all the fucking fill-ins all over. Like I've done that. But it's not as easy as you would think, especially if you're coming from one end of fucking the state, like from the New York, from the city, like there, all the way up, going there. It's a mission. And to take enough paint to make a difference, unless you're going to just, like, you're not going to go up there and take 5 or 6 cans and go up, a fucking 30 times, like every day or something, just for people to start noticing it. You're talking about a yard. So yeah, you definitely want to be going there, making it worth your while. Yeah. But he also had a lot of insides too. Is the Wiz extreme? It was up so fucking much, man. I mean, just look at that movie, The Warriors. It's not like he knew and had all that planned and set aboard. They were just videoing in New York City, and it's like that's how many times he's up, man. Like on the subways, it's true. I mean, throughout my whole life, like I'd get off. Well, I never really remember him up on the 6s unless it got switched from like a 5 or something like that. But yeah, I remember like I'd get off a 5 train, I'd go upstairs, I'd get on the N or an R or something like that, and boom, he'd be up on that. And then you go down and switch for the L train, he'd be up on that, like just every line, like it would just, and it's nothing unusual. You don't even bug out anymore. It's just your way of life, on and on and on, and it's almost like not even impactful. It's like an actor, like Leonardo DiCaprio or something after Titanic. It's almost like people get sick of seeing the dude's face. It was hard for him to get jobs as an actor. What do you think about those people, huh? Yeah, the ones that went down in that thing, huh? I heard it like a little remote control, man. It's fucked up, man. I was reading some of them shit and like people like with the memes and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of fucked up, man. Like people are making fun of them. They're billionaires and this and that. I don't know. I choose to want to live in a country where I have the opportunity to become a billionaire. I mean, if I became a billionaire, what does that make me no good? And so, yeah, some of them things, it's kind of mean, like that, people would stoop to that level. Well, why do they want to go down to the Titanic? It's like someone could ask me, why do I own frogs? Why do I have frogs in my house here? Why do people like to go real fast on motorcycles? It's like it's not that far fetched to like chase a dream, and if you got money to do so, then fucking more power to you, man. It's just sad. I mean, I heard the shit wasn't really put together too well. Yeah. Was it 5 people in that thing? It was like 20 feet long or something. Yeah, 4 days worth of oxygen, 5 days worth of oxygen. But you know what I really do think happened? I think once they lost control, that shit, it imploded. Yeah. I've seen, what was that movie even? With Robert De Niro and Gooding Jr.? Men of Honor? Or something like that. Anyway, they used to wear these big, huge, back in the days, the deep sea divers. It would be like a big lead casket that they put on their head with the circular thing here, and it would actually weigh you down. They have a big tube that would come up and go all the way up and pump air into it. And it's like there's cases where people that would go down too far, they would actually get sucked up into that fucking helmet. Yeah, the whole body would go into that fucking helmet, like bones and all, man. Yeah, it's like an implosion because that's where the air is, like the pocket of air. And it's like, and you got like hundreds of thousands of pounds of pressure, depending on how far under you go. And it's just from every angle, just, that's what happens. It just collapses. And I think that's what happened. I think the minute they lost contact with them is the minute that shit just, it just imploded. It went in. It just, like it, like the breathing, like it's just done, That's what I think happened. I don't think they died like a painful death of like scratching at the walls, like, I need air. I don't think it went down like that. I think that shit, the moment they lost contact, that shit they just, poof, and little pieces fell down because they found pieces of it. Yeah. Rest in peace, man. But yeah, I mean, for people to mock them for chasing a dream, it's like, it's almost like these trolls. Actually, tonight, most of these people have been pretty good. No one's been fucking with me. But even like these trolls on here, it's like, I wonder what the fuck do they do with their life? You know what I mean? It makes it so important for them to troll me. You know what I mean? It's like they're probably fucking overweight and I just sit there, probably hooked up to a fucking HEPA filter and shit like that. And then they criticize people who are actually out there living a fucking life. Like, and even some people, it would be strange. Like, why do you run, Robert? Why would you physically want to run? It's not like a pterodactyl was chasing after you or anything. Why run? Like, what is your fascination with just running over a bridge and running up the river there? Why do you do it? Robert, why do you have frogs? What the fuck are you doing with 2 frogs in your room? People have different interests. I personally don't know shit about the Titanic, but I admire the passion. I do. Because they really did go down there with it was like a Nintendo or a fucking an Xbox fucking controller. that they were using to control the thing. One dude actually bailed out. He's like, I'm all right, guys. I think I hear my mother calling me. I got to go. Like one dude's actually, you know, he was a little smart. He said, wait a minute. I mean, I would ask myself, I'd say, wait a minute, if they're using a goddamn fucking controller for a video game, like a video console, a video game console, I would ask myself, well, what else did they chintz on? Like, you know what I mean? like, yo, you need some strong, like, yeah, you're talking about like a roll bar, all types of shit you're going to need because you're going there, man. Yeah, that fucking thing is down there deep, man. What is it? It's like 2-3 miles under, straight down. Yeah, that's insane, man. The graffiti ninja. I'm feeling okay, man. Can't complain. Mr. Chop Shop, they were 12,000 feet on. Imagine that. I'll tell you, I was under ice once in Miller's Pond when I was young, and my brother actually ran away. He was so scared. What happened? I heard something click. My battery? No, I'm on. And my brother actually ran away. I was in about 5 feet of water. We were sliding around on the ice. And I just went right down. I was like 8 years old, 7 years old or something. And I couldn't get out. I kept going like this and shit kept breaking. So I actually went far enough where my back was on. I just kept going like that and it broke off. I just kept breaking it like that until it was like up to my waist and I hopped right out. And I fell out and I don't know, like I wound up in the hospital. My father was yelling and screaming and shit. But yeah, my brother ran home and just like went up to his room and shit was like I'm dead serious, yeah. Well, fuck, left me out there. 3 years older than me. So if I'm like 8, he's like what? Like 11, 12 or something like that. Yeah. All right. Have I ever met Phase 2? No, not that I could think of. No, I never met him. I'm just trying to think maybe at one of them old timers days or something, but no, I honestly never met him. They were 12,000 feet under. Yeah, it's like the Titanic is like 3 miles underwater, like straight down underwater. It's like almost the length of, yeah, that's Park. I think longer than Central Park. That's down there, man. And you know what I don't understand is, well, once again, they did use a remote control from a fucking video console to steer the thing. But I don't understand why, like, you have like these black boxes and planes and like cruise ships and stuff like that. So when they dig up the wreckage, they could find this thing. And I mean, cell phones are like, my brother's sitting in jail. He's not even eligible for parole until 2039 because of a fucking Obama phone he had in his pocket. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, they couldn't like GPS it or something like that. Or if not, now they had footage. They would have a drone that they would drop down and it would actually be going around in the Titanic, in the rooms and the bowels of it and the stern of the thing and this and that. And it would actually go into rooms and they were able to video footage this shit. So I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck didn't they have that thing follow them down? Yeah, like just have, as they go down, have that thing right there next to them. Like here they are. Just have that thing going down. It would be good footage. You can make money off that footage later on. And then once, if it could go, if that's because there's only 3 ships or something like that that are capable of going to them depths. Yeah. From what I understand, you would think that every submarine's a submarine. It could go down. But you're fucking talking down. I'm talking you down there with the fucking devil. Like, yeah, that shit is down there, man. It's kind of scary, man. Like, I'm a good swimmer. There's pictures of me swimming in the fucking Hudson River. Tommy is on here. Tommy will tell you. I jump in the fucking East River almost every night in the fucking summertime. Yeah, is Tommy still here? Yo, Tommy Brown, he'll tell you. I've known him since he was a baby. Yeah, John Jay Park and shit. Yeah, we'd get kicked out the park. We'd get kicked out of John Jay Park. The cops would come and making noise. We'd be swimming in the pool and shit. So we'll just start swimming in the fucking river, man. We're like, fine, let's take the party over here. We jump off the top, like the part that goes over the FDR Drive. Yeah, I ain't give a fuck. But just like suffocation or drowning, that's some serious shit, man. Like that's some wild shit. Like that's not a good death, man. I'd rather be skinned alive, man. Yeah, definitely. Like I'd rather get an arm, a broken arm, fixed than go to the dentist and just have a dentist do a regular little fucking checkup, man. Yeah. So I'm a little weird with shit like that, you know. Oh, Vamp passed away. Oh yeah, rest in peace. Yeah. So one of you guys asked about that outline. Yeah, it's coming along. Look. Yeah. I'm going to be giving it away on my Patreon account. You can find it in the subscription. Let me set it up for you. I was gonna go stone again. I was like, yeah, that motherfuckers could be like, oh, this dude's bugging tonight, man. I was gonna hop up stone. I was gonna get you again, man. Yeah, I was gonna get you fucking fools again, boy. You guys are easy. But let me line it up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm still playing around a little bit. First time I ever did a boat day, man. I never did them things a day in my life. And my boy Soul, he used to do a lot of them shits, man. Soul, yeah, man. You know, Soul 357? Yeah, he used to do bodega a lot. I'll tell you, he was telling me to do them freights, man. Wow. Yeah, he was jumping around doing them shits like 2011, and even before that, man. Like 2007, Soul and them already hopping around doing them things. Yo, you should come. I'm like, I don't want to ride on no freight train, man. You know, and they would catch them right up there in the Bronx. I was living on Costa Street. They would catch them right there, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Scheme Supreme, man. What's up, man? RFA. Yeah, I was saying the same thing. Like, and if not, don't these people have cell phones in their pockets? But you know, even where I work, I don't have a cell phone. Like I said, my brother's in jail 2039. He goes before parole because of a cell phone. I don't fuck with them. But even in my work, like if you do, you have to keep it in your locker because it could set off like I work in a tuberculosis laboratory. I test specimens for tuberculosis, and it could fuck with the machines like the ASTs and shit like that, the multi testing and stuff like that. It could actually set off the machines. So maybe in that situation, being they're using a fucking remote control from like a fucking Xbox or a fucking whatever the hell, Nintendo or some shit like that, right? Yeah. PlayStation, PlayStation. Yeah, for real, fucking remote. I mean, you know, I would. That's why one dude bailed out. He must have been like, oh, I don't know, man. Like if you're gonna chinch on like a steering wheel for the fucking thing and use a goddamn like a fucking a controller from a fucking video game console you picked up in a goddamn garage sale. You got to wonder where the rest of that fucking thing came from. And also, all these people are billionaires. So, yeah, man, it could have came out of pocket a little more, man. A little fucking more, man. Believe me. And chase that dream, man. Build it and they will come. All that shit. But fucking God bless them, man. It's horrible. Like, just imagine that. I hope they just imploded. Once they lost contact, I hope they just imploded. I mean, God, they're definitely passed on. They're no longer amongst us at this point, I believe. There's no way, from what I understand, it's physically impossible. But then again, I thought that it's physically impossible for a man to be a woman. So what the fuck do I know? Yeah. Where are we at here? RJLS. RD, do you still eat meat sausage? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Beef. Yeah. Yeah, sure do, man. On occasion. Like, you got to stay away from cured meats. Like hot dogs, shit like that. It's not good for you. As far as it goes, it's cancerous and shit. The battery went dead. They didn't play their Xbox account, right? No, I don't want to play into it because I'm actually on here like disgusted at the memes that came out. But I mean, definitely not coming from a place of mean angst towards these people. I admire the fact that they chase their dreams and shit. I mean, what was that guy's name that fucking built that shit? Burton, Paul Burton, Barton, the one that started Coney Island, the one that actually started Coney Island out in Brooklyn. What was his name? He would dive in like a fucking suit. Like there was a boat that would come from an actually cruise ship from New York, the harbor of New York to Ireland, and this fucking guy jumped in the fucking water with this big suit on and paddles, and he just swam like this. And like people like, Jesus Christ, you're gonna die. Bigger and shit. The guy who created Coney Island in Brooklyn, looked it up. I'm not shitting you. Yeah, it's like before the 18th century, the ending of it, and yeah, he jumped off a fucking boat with some suit that he invented and rose. He literally had rose, like fucking like a you know, and he jumped off a cruise ship that was heading to Ireland, and he fucking came up ashore in Ireland. Like these Irish people, like, be Jesus, you must be cold and this and that. And he actually took this man in and they dried him up and shit. And yeah, he started fucking Coney Island. I think he also went to prison, but yeah, he wound up in Sing Sing or something. Coney Island's got a deep history, but when it was actually created, Coney Island, it was made by a man that was he was like a Houdini of his time. Yeah. Paul Barton, Peter Barton, or Breton, or something like that. It was like Houdini. Yeah, like Harry Houdini. And I mean, that's fucking amazing, man. Like people must have been bugging. Like this dude just jumped off the ship, and like they're like, holy shit. And he's got this thing, and I mean, he lived. But you know, he very well could have that could have been the end of his story right there. But he chose, I'm gonna fucking go for that. That's a man. And like honestly, like someone that would go on and belittle that, and well, don't worry about people were hurt. They were only billionaires and stuff like that. And I honestly do sit there and think, imagine what these people look like. Like, what did they do that's so amazing in their life to like criticize someone for chasing their fucking dragon, Like, you going for yours, man. God fucking bless all of them, man. Straight up. I couldn't think of nothing else, man. I mean, people say, at least they died, like, what was it? I believe when DG had passed away, at least he died doing what he loves or something like that. I'm like, in my mind, dead is dead, man. Like, that's like, that's it. That's the end of it, and it's going for what you honestly enjoy doing, it's good, but I don't know if it's something that is worthy of dying for, is what I'm trying to say. But just the pure attempt of trying to accomplish something that is unaccomplishable. I mean, you're going 2 or 3 fucking miles straight down to the Titanic with a fucking remote control, and you're in a tin can that you bought from the Home Depot. That's like going over to Niagara Falls in a barrel, which is another perfect example. How many fucking people try to go through the Niagara Falls? I heard at one point every year you got like 20, 30 people trying that shit. Yeah, Niagara Falls every fucking year at one point. Oh, I was like, fuck, I'll do it. I mean, I never went to Niagara Falls, but I would cliff dive in Jamaica with the Jamaican cliff divers and shit. Yeah, I'd trip out on mushrooms during the rain season. I'd eat all these fucking mushrooms. I'd be high for weeks on end. I'd wake up and I'd eat them and shit. I'd be shitting like water, and I'd be jumping off the fucking cliffs and shit like that. I'd get all black and blue and shit. Like I'd literally jump for hours. I would be going, I'd climb all the way back up and just swan dive right off the bitch, right back in. I remember Sammy, he came out there, man. He did it near Rick's Cafe. He got his whole shit all busted up. Motherfucker kept going. That's like living, man. It's like that's living. And it's a beautiful thing, man. You guys should try it sometime. What do they say? Touch grass? Like, honestly, the people that are being insultive to these people that are chasing a dream are a passion. I mean, these people must really care about the ongoings of the Titanic ship. I mean, it's not something I give a fuck about. But like I said, people look at me like, what the fuck you doing with frogs? Why do you have frogs in your apartment in Manhattan? You know, what is up with that? So you're 50 something years old writing graffiti. You got arrested for writing graffiti and you're a grown man in your 50s working for the city of New York. Why would you waste all that on that? You know, don't you think that's kind of stupid? You get me? So it's like, yeah, someone taking a bunch of steroids and lifting weights and getting all big and winning contests to me sounds stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't knock another man's dream or another man's hustle. But one thing I will say is that one guy, man, that took his son with him. Imagine looking at, I mean, I really do hope it was just an implosion, like right then and there. Like the minute they disappeared, like off radar, there wasn't even a radar. It was a fucking Xbox. So yeah, but I really do hope that, like, I hope that father didn't sit there while the son's like gasping for his last air, and father just knowing how badly he fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like your father's the father's job is to not put your son in a situation like that. So that's something there. Yeah, I mean, and even if your son is involved in the same passion as you, as far as it goes with the Titanic, if it was me, I'd be like, "Yo, kid, I'll send you pictures, man. I'll tell you all about it, but you ain't coming down here." I'm dead serious. That's pretty much the way I would do it. I mean, that's your son. And I mean, a lot of these people too, they all had families, you know. One of them guys' sons was actually at some concert or something. He was like, woo, woo, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, that was pretty sickening too. But karma's a bitch, man. Believe me. Karma's a bitch. You know, he posted that shit. Now, yeah, like, you'll see that dude. Yeah, something bad's gonna happen. Like, someone's gonna walk up behind him with a 45 and be like, "What's up now, bitch?" Boom, some shit. Yeah, you'll see. Like, yeah, God don't like ugly, man. Straight up. That was some weird shit. Yeah. Let me get back to this drawing, and I'm gonna shut you guys off, man. I'm actually thinking I might go running. You know, my son Bobby, I was just thinking about this as I'm drawing. His mother, Katie Ann Burchell, she was dead. She was murdered. Um, she lived in Jamaica, and she would pick up little seashells. And I used to find that to be the weirdest fucking thing. Like, this fucking, the sand is literally seashells. Like, it's everywhere. And she would actually collect seashells. And I mean, you know, I'm just thinking, like, they're like everywhere. It's almost like me collecting sand, you know. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, she knew about seashells. Like, she could tell, you know, like, it's not like just a pretty seashell. Like, she knew like the whole crustaceans of it and everything, even how long and how old some of them were. But it's just funny considering, like, the beach is literally all crushed seashells, and someone that was raised there and brought up there could find out of a whole beach something that to me just looks like a pebble. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's fucking fascinating. Yeah, I think a lot. And that's just one thing that came up to me when I'm sitting here drawing. I mean, Katie Ann Burchell, rest in peace, man, definitely. It's like collecting blades of grass. But you can't knock it. I mean, see, another thing down there in Jamaica, people would collect stuff like that, and they would make art out of it and sell it to tourists, but not her. She would put them on her shelf. And only certain ones. So it had to have been like, it's not like her shelves were covered with them. It would just be certain ones. I asked her, I said, what is that like? Is it the shell or the moment that you picked it up? Like, are you trying to remember this moment? Like, and the shell is like the metaphor of the moment. So you take the shell and you could say, wow, that was a beautiful moment. I was on the beach with Robert. We had a beautiful time and this and that. Or is it like, oh shit, that's one of those shells. That's an icky bicky dopus or some crazy shit. Oh, I can't believe I found one. And you put it in your pocket. I always wondered. It seemed kind of personal. Like she didn't want to get into her whole thing with shells. But yeah, that was interesting. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is you can't knock someone's hobby, passion. You got stamp collectors, coin collectors, right? Dolls, Cabbage Patch Kids, Beanie Babies, baseball cards. I also like Old West, like the Dalton Gang, Billy the Kid, Ungers, James Gang, Ma Parker, shit like that. And I could picture myself one day wanting to go to Yellowstone or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think someone that would want to investigate the Titanic any further is any weirder than that, other than the fact that there's a bunch of water that's involved. Like it's really admirable, to follow your dreams like that. Especially nowadays, everyone's like a bunch of little bitches. Oh yeah, man, life's really not as long as it should be. Man. It's like just by the time you figure out life and you know what turns you on and what you want, it's already over. Like, and some people never even get that far in life. Like I was, believe me, I was good because I've loved. I've been in love like 3 times in my life. Some people go through their whole life without ever finding love. Yeah, I could truthfully say I believe that I've had 3 women that loved me and I loved them back. Um, yeah, one of them I could have pictured myself being with forever. Yeah, I just wasn't willing to do what it took to make that happen. Like I ain't trying to be tied down. I'm a free man. Woo woo! Hear me roar! Ain't no strings on me, bitch. Yeah. It's like when I get a kick out of that. It's like people mock RD. Like I used to say on like streets of saying things like on these graffiti websites, and people make fun of me or something. Oh, he's a drug addict. He's transvestite. He's this. He's that. He's homeless. He's a bum. And I'm like, yo, I honestly lived a great fucking life, man. I really wouldn't take anything back. I really wouldn't. I had a fucking fun life, man. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't know when to stop. Some of my friends did go overboard, obviously, as far as it goes with the crime and shit like that. But yeah, once I got married and settled down and, to my wife Deborah, I wasn't out there like that. Like I said, I would hit comic book conventions just to stay afloat. You know, I have money to eat and stuff, pay for college and stuff like that. Lehman College, yeah. Like, I was never greedy. I never got involved with shit that would have too bad of a consequence. You know, like I stayed small. I just did a lot of small shit instead of like going out there like some of my friends doing some big time shit and going away for big time or getting killed or something. So I always pilfered. But I always pilfer. Pilfer. Instead of one big score, I do a million little ones. Yeah. Bottom feeder. Yeah, man. Tommy on there, man. He was on there before. Oh, Tommy, he'll tell you, man. We literally used to swim in the fucking East River on a regular, like all summer, like. Huh? Babo. You call me? Yeah, what you know about that, huh? Yeah, Bob Ski. My son, he's calling me or something. Well, you guys want to see the drawing? Are you ready? Stung! I got you again, motherfucker! Nah, here you go, here you go, here you go. I'm playing around a little more. That's funny, right? Stung! Yeah, you guys have a good night, man. Take care, man.